1. Which of the following best demonstrates the application of adult learning principles in a licensing preparation course? A. Providing lengthy lectures with minimal interaction. B. Encouraging learners to draw from their personal experiences during discussions. C. Using standardized slides for every session without modification. D. Assigning daily quizzes without feedback. 2. When designing a PrepL curriculum, which step ensures alignment between objectives, instruction, and assessment? A. Implementing the program before finalizing the outcomes. B. Using pre-existing lesson plans from other training programs. C. Employing backward design to structure the learning process. D. Prioritizing content volume over competency goals. 3. A key indicator of successful evaluation in a PrepL program is A. High attendance rates regardless of learning outcomes. B. Improvement in participants' licensing examination pass rates. C. The number of training modules completed. D. The length of time spent on each activity. 4. Which method most effectively evaluates whether learners can apply new regulatory knowledge to real-world situations? A. Multiple choice exams only. B. Role-playing scenarios simulating compliance issues. C. Open book quizzes with notes. D. Group brainstorming without follow-up assessment. 5. When mentoring a learner struggling with exam anxiety, the mentor should first A. Recommend withdrawing from the course. B. Criticize poor study habits directly. C. Identify underlying causes and offer emotional support. D. Focus only on content review sessions. 6. Which communication strategy most effectively builds trust between PrepL instructors and adult learners? A. Using technical jargon to show expertise. B. Listening actively and validating learners' perspectives. C. Delivering scripted lessons without deviation. D. Limiting feedback to final evaluations. 7. The purpose of formative assessment in a licensing preparation program is to A. Assign a final grade for certification. B. Evaluate learner progress for continuous improvement. C. Determine program funding levels. D. Compare learners' performance to national statistics. 8. In developing a PrepL curriculum, measurable learning outcomes should A. Describe what the instructor will teach. B. Outline learner actions that demonstrate mastery. C. Be general statements about the topic's importance. D. Focus solely on test-taking strategies. 9. A common barrier for adult learners in PrepL courses is A. Lack of cognitive maturity. B. Irrelevant material that doesn't connect to their experience. C. Excessive emphasis on real-world application. D. Overuse of technology-based instruction. 10. Which feedback approach is most effective for skill mastery in PrepL learners? A. Provide delayed feedback after several sessions. B. Offer specific, timely, and actionable feedback. C. Focus feedback only on final results. D. Keep feedback general to avoid discouragement. 11. When a PrepL instructor ensures that course materials meet licensing regulations, they are practicing A. Curriculum alignment. B. Instructional differentiation. C. Regulatory compliance. D. Experiential facilitation. 12. The use of self-assessment tools in PrepL helps learners to A. Avoid instructor evaluations. B. Identify personal strengths and areas for improvement. C. Replace summative assessments. D. Reduce accountability. 13. Which learning activity best supports andragogical principles? A. Memorizing legal definitions through flashcards. B. Solving real-world licensing case studies. C. Copying notes from the whiteboard. D. Watching a long lecture with no discussion. 14. A PrepL mentor can best support professional growth by A. Assigning tasks without explanation. B. Modeling ethical behavior and reflective practice. C. Withholding feedback until course completion. D. Focusing solely on exam content. 15. When designing evaluation rubrics, clarity and performance criteria ensures A. Learners guess expectations accurately. B. Objective and consistent grading. C. Flexibility for each instructor's preference. D. Increased content coverage. 16. Adult learners in licensing programs value A. Passive content delivery. B. Immediate relevance of learning to job performance. C. Rigid predetermined schedules. D. Strict memorization methods. 17. To maintain regulatory compliance, a PrepL provider should A. Periodically review and update training materials based on current laws. B. Continue using outdated materials until renewal. C. Focus only on test-taking strategies. D. Allow instructors to use personal interpretations of regulations. 18. Which instructional strategy best promotes learner autonomy in PrepL? A. Instructor-centered teaching. B. Facilitated discussions with problem-solving tasks. C. Rote memorization drills. D. Extended lecture sessions. 19. The best way to assess the effectiveness of a PrepL program is to evaluate learner satisfaction only. Conduct post-program surveys and analyze exam pass rates. C. Track attendance records. D. Review instructor qualifications. 20. When communicating complex regulatory topics, instructors should A. Simplify language and use relatable examples. B. Rely on legal jargon for accuracy. C. Skip explanations to save time. D. Assume prior knowledge among all learners. 21. Which mentoring behavior fosters long-term learner confidence? A. Setting unrealistic performance targets. Encouraging reflection and self-directed problem solving. C. Emphasizing mistakes over achievements. D. Limiting communication to formal sessions. 22. In a blended PrepL environment, technology is most effective when it A. Replaces instructor-led discussions completely. B. Enhances engagement through simulations and quizzes. C. Is used only for administrative purposes. D. Distracts learners from core objectives. 23. Which of the following best defines curriculum mapping in PrepL? A. Scheduling course sessions. B. Aligning learning outcomes, content, and assessments. C. Tracking attendance records. D. Listing all textbook chapters. 24. In evaluating PrepL instructors, which criterion is most relevant? A. Their popularity among learners. B. Compliance with teaching standards and effective facilitation. C. The number of years they've been teaching. D. The amount of content covered per session. 25. A reflective journal in a PrepL course primarily helps learners to memorize regulatory terms. B. Internalize learning and track personal progress. C. Replace formal assessments. D. Reduce instructor feedback. 26. The most important aspect of maintaining ethical standards in PrepL delivery is A. Protecting learner confidentiality and fairness. B. Maximizing program enrollment. C. Sharing learner scores publicly. D. Ignoring diversity considerations. 27. When adult learners resist new material, the instructor should A. Reprimand them for noncompliance. B. Explore their concerns and connect material to their experiences. C. Skip the challenging topic. D. Extend class hours for repetition. 28. Which element ensures validity in PrepL assessments? A. Questions that reflect actual licensing requirements. B. Using random test questions unrelated to objectives. C. Prioritizing entertainment value. D. Allowing learners to choose answers collaboratively. 29. Which method helps ensure consistent evaluation across PrepL instructors? A. Standardized rubrics and calibration sessions. B. Allowing personal interpretation of grading. C. Using only attendance as a metric. D. Skipping peer reviews. 30. The most effective mentorship model in licensing preparation involves A. One-way communication from mentor to mentee. B. Collaborative goal setting and feedback. C. Strict supervision without autonomy. D. Limited contact outside class. 31. When assessing learner progress mid-course, the instructor should A. Compare learners to each other. B. Provide formative feedback and adjust instruction. C. Delay assessment until final exams. D. Focus on grading only. 32. Which curriculum development stage focuses on determining learner needs? A. Implementation. B. Evaluation. C. Analysis. D. Design. 33. A PrepL instructor notices that learners perform well in quizzes but poorly in practical assessments. The instructor should A. Add more hands-on learning activities. B. Increase written exams. C. Shorten class time. D. Reduce formative feedback. 34. In a PrepL program, which action best promotes cultural sensitivity among diverse adult learners? A. Ignoring cultural differences to ensure uniformity. B. Encouraging open dialogue and integrating diverse perspectives into learning. C. Allowing only dominant cultural examples in case studies. D. Separating learners based on cultural background. 35. Which assessment method best evaluates critical thinking skills in licensing preparation learners? A. Multiple choice tests focused on recall. B. Scenario-based problem solving with written justification. C. Matching terms with definitions. D. Memorization quizzes.